Yesterday, the United States Senate got an update from the administration about Saturday's strike on Iran. We heard from Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth, Central Intelligence Agency Director John Ratcliffe, and General Dan Kaine, who is Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. They told us, beyond a doubt, the Iran strikes were successful. Two things are clear. One, President Trump protected our country. And two, America drew a red line on Iran, no nuclear weapons, and President Trump enforced it. Every recent president has said a nuclear Iran is unacceptable. Bill Clinton said it, George W. Bush said it, Barack Obama said it, Joe Biden said it. Even Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said back in 2015, if there is only a 10% chance Iran uses a nuclear weapon, it is vital we prevent it. That's exactly what President Trump did, and he did it effectively. For over 40 years, Iran has targeted, threatened, and terrorized the United States and our allies. We know from our own intelligence and from independent experts that Iran was dangerously close to getting nuclear weapons. My colleagues on the other side of the aisle have called for diplomacy. Well, President Trump tried diplomacy for months. President Trump laid down guidelines and deadlines, and then he drew a red line. Iran used diplomatic talks to stall. It did so as it continued to race toward a nuclear weapon. As Commander-in-Chief, President Trump has the full authority to act. He did so consistent with Article 2, Section 2 of the Constitution, and he did so decisively. It was a limited, powerful, and precise strike. It was aimed specifically at Iran's nuclear facilities, not at Iran's leadership, not at the Iranian people. And here's more good news. No American lives were lost, absolutely none. This was a powerful message to Iran. But not just to Iran, also to Russia, to China, to North Korea, and anyone else who is an adversary of the United States. The message is this: America means what it says, and America will keep our people safe. Now, Democrats, of course, rushed to turn this successful strike into a political fight. Even today, they're forcing the Senate to vote this very afternoon on a resolution that says the president lacked the authority to do what he did. They've gone so far as to imply that the successful protection of the American people is an impeachable offense. Democrats are calling for the president's impeachment because of his successful attack on the Iranian nuclear program. Mr. President, national security should be something that unites us. But let's not forget, Democrats have said presidents can act without a vote of Congress. They've said it many times in the past. Recall when President Obama struck Libya in 2011. Speaker Nancy Pelosi said Congress wasn't needed because the strike was limited. Now that there is a Republican in the White House, what we're seeing is that Democrats are suddenly trying to rewrite the rules. National security moves fast. That's why our Constitution says give the commander-in-chief real authority. President Trump seized the moment. He did it responsibly, he did it decisively, and he did it constitutionally. America and our allies are safer today because of it. And the resolution from Senator Kaine that we're voting on today, I believe it's not needed, and I most certainly will oppose it. If passed, it would prevent the president from protecting us in the future. I urge all of my colleagues to reject it. Mr. President, on a related matter, the Iranian airstrike is about more than nuclear weapons. It's about also the threat of terrorism. Iranian terrorists have targeted Americans for decades. Iran actively pursued an assassination plot against President Trump. Other top officials in the United States have also been targets of Iranian terrorists. Recently, Iran threatened to activate its so-called sleeper cells right here inside the United States. Let that sink in. This is an urgent reminder that national security starts with border security. Under Joe Biden and the Democrats, more than 1,500 illegal immigrants from Iran crossed our southern border. 729 of them were released into our country by Joe Biden. And that might just be the tip of the iceberg. Because remember, under Joe Biden and the Democrats, there were millions of gotaways. People that weren't stopped sneaking across the border. They were detected, either satellite images, different mechanisms of looking for people, heat detection of people moving across the desert, but not being able to be captured. How many of them were Iranian agents as well? How many of them are today in sleeper cells? Well, the truth is, no one knows. What we do know is this: President Trump took office, and since that time, illegal border crossings are down by 95%. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents are working fast. In the last 7 days alone, ICE arrested 130 illegal immigrants from Iran. Right now, 670 Iranian nationals are being detained. President Trump's detentions are working. Now the administration needs more resources to finish the job. That's why Republicans are fighting for our comprehensive safety agenda. Our bill increases funding for border security and enforcement by $160 billion. It finishes the wall. It hires thousands of new Border Patrol and ICE agents. It gives them a bonus for keeping our communities safe. In November, Madam President, Americans want, need, and voted for safe communities and secure borders. Our Republican safety agenda delivers what the Americans wanted, need, and have voted for.